Welcome to the Video Marketing Conversation, a video blog that brings you interviews with marketing innovators and insights to the latest trends and strategies for content marketing. I'm Scott Williford, CEO and founder of vLink Solutions, the Video Marketing Authority. Hopefully you turned into our first segment where we have the leaders of B2B Camp, and so today we're going to continue our conversation about some of the lessons learned and some of the things that we gained insights from and how our participants liked the show or liked the conference. So why don't you guys chime in and tell us a little bit about what you felt like you learned?
So I think at least for me personally, I know that there were just a lot of people who really wanted to connect with each other and talk to each other, peers, not necessarily specifically people selling to them. And it was a great opportunity for them to do that, and I think that they really enjoyed it. And it was much more of a buzz than actually I anticipated in terms of getting the word out.
Having 135 people there on a Saturday, I mean, how did you guys choose a Saturday? I know we talked about how you planned this thing, but why Saturday?
Well, following the product camp format, it's been a well-proven format for product managers, and so applying it to the B2B marketing and sales market, the Saturdays work because what it does, it really gets the people that are passionate about this topic out. I know it's a lot to give up on a Saturday with families and friends, but it's certainly based on what we experienced that day here in Atlanta. It was well worth it, and we've got some great testimonials on our site that back it up.
So tell me about some of the testimonials. What were people saying after the camp?
Yeah, well, first thing that kind of surprises, we had this assumption that people had demand for this sort of thing, but the response was amazing. Not only early on to say I want to be a part of this, but then during the event, I think there were so many tweets and blog posts and things that this is an amazing thing. And this is an unbelievable keynote. I can't believe all this stuff's happening. And so we really had just amazing feedback from this community of people that have been yearning for this type of education, this type of community, and this type of engagement.
Yeah, we didn't anticipate us being a trending topic in Atlanta that day.
That's right.
And that was the same day as South by Southwest, which is one of the biggest conferences in the technology space, and there were a lot of people tweeting things like, "We're having our own South by Southwest here at B2B Camp," and that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So, how many tweets did it end up going out that day? I know you guys tracked that stuff.
Last count.
Hundreds and hundreds. I think it was over 300. I don't know the exact number. Could have been even more than that.
Yeah. Well, we produced a really cool video because a lot of people are talking about video at B2B Camp and the best ways to use.
We like that.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But we did some really cool things with the tweets at the end of the event. That we took a bunch of the tweets that came out of it and created a little video of it and posted up on our site, which people have been responding well to.
You can see that just at b2bcamp.com. It's just a little video that's running right on the website.
So, what were some of the topics that were covered at that event? What were some of the highlights from the presenters?
Well, obviously, content marketing was a big one.
Right.
A lot around email, nurture marketing, drip campaigns, kind of how the buyer has changed, things that talk about the new age of how to reach out to a customer and do it through a lot of technology. There's things on social. There's one that was technical about email deliverability, which was really neat.
Yeah, and I know you're going to be modest in this, but we did have a topic on sales intelligence, which was well represented because it's a new topic and people are trying to learn. It just shows that the people that come to these events are really hungry to learn new things as well as sharpen skills on what they already know. So it's.
And it was also, of course, our keynote was about buyer-centric, the buyer-centric movement. And one of the things there is obviously a lot of people know about that story, but how do you execute on that? Or what are some of the tactics and topics around making that happen was a big key factor as well.
Absolutely.
So one of the things as a participant and as an attendee that I found is that there were vendors there. But they weren't. The vendors weren't dominating at all, which is something that I felt really good about. I mean, I felt like, hey, you did have to have some sponsors to pay for things, but it wasn't like sponsors.
It's a free event, so I mean, without the sponsors' support, this wouldn't be possible. Camp wouldn't be possible. But they're really good about participating and not leading, because since it is participant led, sponsors as well as people that attend just just volunteer and make this thing all come together.
And no one gets favorable preference, right? This is a meritocracy. If you get up and do a good pitch, then you're going to get voted in, regardless of whether you sponsored or paid or you work for this company or that company.
One of the things that it really hit me is there were competitors in the room, and they were participating as peers, and I liked that a lot. I liked that a lot. So, what are the plans? And we want to kind of get into that in our next segment. I'm going to try to wrap this one up, and then we'll come back in another segment. We'll talk about the future plans for B2B Camp. So I'm Scott Williford. I want to thank you for tuning in. Be sure to tune in for our next segment where you're going to hear some of the next things that are coming down the pipeline with B2B Camp. Thank you for tuning in.